Right, ladies and gents, this one's a big one. This has been heavily requested, and for good reason. We're going to talk about the discipline blueprint and how to stay consistent. Now, one of the things you hear me say all of the time is that discipline trumps motivation. Discipline over motivation. Motivation is shit. It will leave you when you need it the most. Many of us think that that is going to be the thing that pushes us through hard times. It is not. When motivation is required is usually when it buggers off. However, if you can create discipline, if you can create good habits, that is what's going to be by your side when things get tough. So the point of this video is to take you through why discipline is so much more important and how to try and shift your mindset into being more disciplined versus trying to be or waiting for motivation. So, practical tips for overcoming your excuses, very, very important, building habits and staying quote-unquote motivated. The reason I put that in speech marks because motivation, as I've just said, is a bit shit. It is not your friend. The highlighted bit here, and I need all of you to, when I'm talking about this stuff, don't take it personally, don't be offended, anything like that, but be prepared to call yourself on your own bullshit. You know, when you're making excuses, identify them and say, look, I'm a grown-up, I'm an adult, I have full control over my present and my future. Do not make excuses for yourself. When you can learn to do that, you're then going to be able to build much, much better habits. When you do that, you stay motivated because obviously one of the biggest motivators is to see results. If you are disciplined with your habits, you will see results. You will then become more motivated. Simple as that. So, why discipline beats motivation? Motivation always comes and goes, and that's exactly why it's unreliable for long-term success. As I mentioned a second ago, it will leave you. When you need it the most, when you are at your weakest, it will leave you. Discipline, however, if you get into the habit of constantly doing the things that you need to do, no matter what obstacle is in your way, no matter how tired you are, no matter how you feel, if you consistently tick the boxes all of the time, then you're going to be in a position where that discipline, when you're feeling weak, when you're feeling low, that is going to be there by your side to push you through. That discipline, creating those habits, creates consistent action. Good habits, toughness, even when motivation is low. So by that, if you wake up at 7 o'clock, no matter how tired you are, I'm getting up at 7, I'm getting up at 7, I'm getting up at 7, it becomes as regular as brushing your teeth. If we can take that level of consistency and that discipline, I'm going to keep doing this until it becomes a habit, that makes you significantly more mentally tough. You realize that you're capable of way more than you thought. And when that happens, you can start to take on much, much, much bigger, much more daunting or intimidating tasks with ease because you understand the power of discipline versus motivation. And the idea behind this, the blueprint provides practical, actionable steps to build habits, overcome excuses, and keep pushing towards your goals. So if required, as always, with all of these, get a pen and paper if you need to. You can watch it again and again and again, but get a pen and paper and write some stuff down. And really try to listen out for the things that stand out to you. If there's something in here that resonates with you, you think, yeah, this I need to make note of. Just like you'd highlight it in a book if you were studying, write it down, put pen to paper. That's going to help you build some good habits. Right, so the first thing is in order to stay motivated / disciplined is we need something to be working towards. We have to have a goal. Otherwise, you're flying blind. You know, if you do not have a location, if you do not have a destination, if you don't have an end goal, you're making it up as you go along. And obviously, when you're making it up as you go along, you have no structure. You have nothing to follow. You don't know whether you're on the right path. You don't know whether what you're doing is the right thing. So you set your goal. We've done a whole separate goal setting guide on this, but I'm going to talk to you about it now. So, SMART goals, and this is the key. SMART, the SMART acronym being specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound, okay? So we're going to break that down. I want to lose weight is not a specific goal. Okay, I want to lose weight is not a specific goal. Okay, so if you lose a gram, is that good enough? Yes or no? Well, no, of course it's not. You wanted to lose more than a gram. Maybe you want to lose 5 kilos, 10 kilos, 20 kilos. You have to be specific. I want to lose 5 kilograms of fat. That is my goal because we then know if you lose a kilogram of fat, you're on the right path. If you lose 1.5 kilos, you're still on the right path. You're pushing towards it. You can tick these boxes. Second thing, measurable. Is it something you can actually measure? And this is when people say, oh, you know, I just want to feel healthier. How do you measure that? That's not quantifiable. Feeling healthier is not necessarily quantifiable. It's not objective. So you need a measurable parameter by which to track your progress. Is it achievable? So if you say, right, you have a full-time job, 3 kids, and your path to that goal requires 15 training sessions a week, is it achievable? No, it's not. But if that path, the goal plan, says, okay, can I do 4 sessions a week in order to get my 5 kilograms of fat loss by April 1st, is that achievable? Yes, it is. To simplify that even more, if your goal is to walk on the moon, is it realistic and achievable right now? No, of course it's not. You're not an astronaut. We don't have the technology. You can't go up there as a recreational user unless you're extremely wealthy. You're not going to get onto the moon. So it's not achievable. Do something that is realistic and achievable. Then is it relevant? So if you are trying to be a world-class powerlifter, is losing 5 kilograms of fat the right goal? Probably not, because as a powerlifter, you probably want to be a bit heavier because you've got more leverage over a bar. So is it relevant to what you're actually trying to do? If so, it's going to be easier to stick to. And then time bound. I need to know when I have to do it by. Okay, I need to have that deadline in order to make sure that I'm following a structure and I'm working back from that deadline. Today, it is what? The 9th. It's the 9th of January. So this gives me a good 4 months, basically, to be able to lose that. I then know that I need to lose 1.25 kilograms per month of fat, and that's going to mean I achieve my goal by April the 1st. So we start with the end date, and then we can work back based on what our goal is, making sure we tick all of these boxes along the way. So while you're sitting there now, again, get your paper, get your pen and paper, write down SMART on your paper, and write down your own SMART goals. Either while you're listening to this, pause it, or do it afterwards to understand exactly what you want, when you want it by, and if it's really achievable. And something I really love doing here that has been very, very useful for me in the past is I also write down what is going to stop me from doing that. What do I have in my life or in my environment right now that is going to stop me from doing that? Is it my husband or my wife? Is it my kids? Is it work? Is it time? Is it equipment? What is it? And then as you write these things down, find strategies to get around them. Okay, so if it's my husband or wife, right, well, I'm going to have this discussion with them and say, listen, this is really, really important to me. This is something I really, really want. I need to lose this amount by this, and this is what it's going to take. I need you to be on my side. I don't need you to be complaining when I'm cooking healthy food and saying, oh, I want this, I want that, I want the other. I need you to support me. All of these things, usually the success is just on the other side of a conversation that maybe you don't want to have. But write down your SMART goals and then say, is there anything in my path that I need to deal with beforehand in order to get it out of my way? Okay, I want a clear path. I want the quickest route to success I can possibly get, and I want the least obstacles in my way. Step 2, once we have our goal, we know exactly where we want to be. We're going to create a plan. We need to make sure we're not just winging it. We have a time scale. So I know I'm going to need 3 or 4 workouts per week. I know I'm going to need to look after my diet in order to lose my 1.25 kilograms per month. Right, so overcomplicated plans lead to burnout or failure. So if you try to go to extremes, you are going to fuck up. It is as simple as that. Keep it simple. And there's the acronym, I think the army use it, keep it simple, stupid. Okay, keep it simple. The more simple you can set things up, the easier they are going to be to stick to. And this is why I actually had a conversation a few days ago with one of the clients who was talking about extremely overweight client who was talking about various levels of nutrient timing and very specific supplements and using advanced supplements to train. I'm like, if you can't see your dick because you are too fat, you should not be worrying about minute details within sports performance. What you simply need to do is move a lot, eat really, really well, feed the machine until you can see your dick past your belly again, and then maybe we can start looking at other stuff. So we keep it simple. Don't stress the details, get the fundamentals right. Now, then, the most common obstacles we see, how do we do this? We plan your workouts into your schedule like meetings. So don't say, oh, I didn't have time to train today. Plan it in like a meeting. It is in your diary. If you have at work, no, this is my time. This is my meeting time. We live in an age where people can have months off at a time for mental health. But apparently you can't have your own time during your workout 3 hours a week. No, I'm not having it. Every single one of you out there can protect your physical and mental health by planning your workouts in as a structured part of your week, and they are non-negotiable. Do that, have that discipline, And again, what happens? By being disciplined at that and having the difficult conversation to start with, you start to see results because you're being consistent with your training. And then what happens next when you see results? You get motivated. You're more motivated because you see the results. But the discipline comes first. Second thing, most common obstacle with regards to people's nutrition is not prepping in advance. Take the time, prep in advance. It reduces decision fatigue, so you're not constantly thinking, shit, what do I eat, what do I eat, what do I eat? You already know. You've worked it out ahead of time. You have what you're eating. You're not eating on the fly and therefore becoming inconsistent. And then keep it realistic. We see this in January every single year. People go from eating shit all the way through Christmas, eating loads of crap food, drinking loads, blah, 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 and then go from all of that to trying to train twice a day, 6 days a week, take all of their carbs out, put a 1,500 calorie deficit. Is it necessary? Absolutely not. It's not necessary. Let's say you were eating at a baseline prior to January. Then Christmas comes, you eat an extra 2,000 calories a day because it's Christmas and it's fucking awesome. Do you really think you then need to go to the other extreme, or do you just bring it back to its baseline where you're back in a small calorie deficit? Of course you take it back to calorie deficit, because if you try to go to extreme, the further you go, the more polarized you are with your actions from extreme to extreme, the less likely you are to stick to it. And even if you can stick to it, you're not going to stick to it for that long, because eventually will does run out. Even if you are very, very mentally strong, it will run out eventually, and then you will cheat. So set goals based on what you can actually do. Then tick that box consistently. Yeah, you're going to need a minimum of 3 training sessions per week. But if you know you can commit to 3, don't try to commit to 5 in the hope that you will get 5. Do 3, and then that allows you to be able to plan your training around that. And I've done another video, many of you may have already watched, on how to plan your training days based on what you have available to you. Then consistency with a simple plan beats inconsistency with a perfect one. So you can have the best training plan in the world, the best nutrition plan in the world. If you don't do it, you're not going to get results. And dare I say it, the shit that you get from us is the best training plans in the world. They are the best nutrition plans in the world, honestly. But if you don't stick to them, you're not going to get results. Simple as that. Next up, as I mentioned before, when you set your goals, identify and address your excuses. Now, again, I say this for all of you out there, and especially those of you who train with me. If I give you shit on this, it's because I give a shit. If you're mooching about and you're mincing and saying, oh, I didn't do this, I didn't do this, I didn't do this, and I get pissed off with you, it's because I am pissed off with you. You're a grown adult, and your default is to make excuses and blame anything other than yourself for your lack of success. Why does that piss me off? Because I care. Because I want your result, probably a bit more than you do sometimes. But that's why I get so annoyed when I hear excuses, because everything you want is, it's a very cliche term that, but everything you want is on the other side of that excuse. If you will just take personal responsibility and say, whether I succeed or fail here, it is my fault. So if you can start taking personal responsibility for your success, you will start to lose the excuses, or at least call yourself on your bullshit. Even if you're not calling yourself on your bullshit immediately, you will at least start to become aware of your own excuses, and that's the first step. So the most common ones, I don't have time. I can tell you categorically, that is bollocks. But every single one of you out there, that is bollocks. It's complete bollocks. I've worked with some of the busiest human beings on the planet. People who are running multiple businesses all over the world, various time zones, have kids, have responsibilities, are doing school runs, doing this. They can find 3 hours a week. Every single one of you. If anyone out there watching this now going, well, don't be such an asshole, Elliot, blah, blah. If any of you watch TV at all, you have time to train. Simple as that. Call yourself on your own bullshit. It would be a massive game changer for you in your life. Second thing, I'm too tired. Yeah, everyone gets tired. It's part of life. One of the things that's going to get you back into the groove, get you energetic, is training, blood flow, endorphins, all of the things. There's no coincidence that generally people who train regularly, they're also out on their bike, they're playing sports, they're doing hikes. It's not a coincidence that those people who spend time in the gym are more active. It's not just something in their DNA. It's a result of choosing to exercise, and being disciplined to exercise gives them more energy. Okay, so that's a really, really easy one. Being too tired, is not a good enough excuse. Get up and be disciplined even when you are tired. And when you start to create that habit of doing it anyway, even when you don't want to, you're going to find that your energy starts to go through the roof and you love it. Next up, I don't know where to start. This is, out of all of these, the only legitimate excuse. I don't have time, not legitimate excuse. I'm too tired, not a legitimate excuse. I don't know where to start, doable. However, there are so many resources out there. If you're watching this now, you have the resource. I am your resource. The mailing list, the amount of content that I've sent out, the stuff I put on Instagram, you have the opportunity, you have the knowledge that you need in order to be able to do this. Just reach out and take it, do it. Solutions with this, as I've mentioned, schedule your workouts like appointment. Admit your own bullshit, you do have the time. Stop saying you don't, because you do. You just unproductive, or you procrastinate too much, or dare I say it, straight up lazy. Being more active will give you more energy. Lose the excuses and get off your ass. 20 minutes is better than nothing. Yeah, you may be tired for too much of a workout, an hour-long workout at 9 o'clock at night, but we've got clients who will get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go and train in the garage before they then wake the kids up and do their day. These are the clients who are getting incredible results, because these are the ones who are committed to that result. They're committed to being disciplined and creating good habits. And I guarantee you, this has carryover to the rest of your life. Finally, get guidance. If you're unsure of where to begin, this last excuse, hire someone, hire me, hire another trainer, ask people in your gym, read, get on the internet. There is a wealth of information on the internet now that will help you understand where to start and give you some form of direction to move forwards. So don't worry about any of these. All excuses that can be easily overcome. You just have to admit to yourself that it is an excuse. Write down your excuses, and this is a good tool. Get your pen and paper again. Write down your most common excuses. Write down the kind of shit you would say to me if I gave you a bollocking and said, why haven't you done this? Why didn't you eat right? Why didn't you do this? Write down the excuses, read them, and imagine someone said to you, this now is the most important thing to me. I want to improve my health. I want to get in the best shape. I want amazing self-confidence. I want my husband or my wife to look at me naked and think, holy shit, this is the best thing in the world. Okay? I want that. It's important to me. Okay. Why aren't you doing it then? Then read out those excuses and tell me how many of them you would take seriously. Or would you just think, oh, you're full of shit. Get over it and get on with it. Okay? Write them down. Call yourself on your own bullshit. Next up, build habits, not routines. Build habits, not routines. So these habitual things, if we can be disciplined to do things correctly, over and over and over again until they become so normal that it's like waking up in the morning and brushing your teeth. That is it's an external thing we've taught ourselves to make a habit. If you can do that with everything else, you will find that once it's ingrained, it will stay there. Think about it this way. Just as humans and the brain, the way the brain works, just as humans create bad habits that can be hard to break, you can also do exactly the same with good habits. It takes a while to build them up, but once you've got them there, they're very hard to break. So which of the two would you rather be made up of? 100 really, really bad habits leading you down the wrong path, or 100 really, really good habits leading you into the next level of your life? I know which one I prefer. I know which one probably all of you will prefer, but again, it's just on the other side of being disciplined enough to start creating that habit and start creating that repetition. How to build habits. Start small. Again, don't try to train 6 days a week if you can train 3 days a week. Okay, that's a good habit. I know that I'm getting 3 days a week. Do you know what? After 3 months, 6 months, a year, do you know what? I fucking love training. It's amazing. It's awesome. I'm going to do an extra day. Get into the habit of training 4 days because it becomes ingrained in you. For your average gym goer out there, many gym goers, it's taking the days off the gym that is harder because we've created such a habit of going to the gym that we're finding it almost impossible to break. So if someone finds it impossible to stop drinking or to stop doing this, get addicted to the good stuff at least, and you're going to be in a much, much better place. Okay, so starting small and make them manageable. Anchor your habits to existing ones. So if you can create an association with something you're already doing, brushing your teeth. Okay, while I'm brushing my teeth, I'm gonna, foam roll my calves, do my mobility work. While I'm brushing my teeth, I'm gonna write out my goals for the next day. Anchor them to something that is already unbreakable to you, and you're gonna have that association. And then use triggers. Lay out your workout clothes. Everyone knows this. When you go out and buy a new pair of trainers or you go out and buy a new workout outfit, you want to go and train, right? It's in your brain. You're like, I want to train, because you've created a trigger for that. Let your workout close out. Have something that is making you aware of it and you're associating it. As soon as you wake up in the morning, I can see my workout close. Right, I need to go. I've done this. This is step one. Focus on one habit at a time. Don't try and overwhelm yourself. Keep it small and build upon them one at a time. Next up, accountability. You know, this is the whole part of, you know, my profession here. Apart from the technical side of understanding how to get the most out of you, the programming, nutrition planning, accountability is an incredibly important part of what we do as personal trainers. So if you can't hold yourself accountable, if you do not have the discipline to hold yourself accountable, then find somebody else who will. Whether that is a trainer, whether it's friends, whether it's your spouse, whatever. The key is not to take it personally. Like if you train with me or you train with one of my team and we have to bollock you, we're not doing it to piss you off. We're not doing it to offend you. We're doing it because you need it. We're doing it because you need somebody in your life to tell you, stop making excuses. When you learn that and when you can become that person for yourself, you will be wildly successful. And that is obviously the end goal. So why accountability matters. It increases the commitment and reduces the temptation to skip. I say this all the time about the check-ins. You know, if you choose not to check in because you had a bad weekend, that completely defeats the object of your check-in. The whole point of your check-in is that it stops you having a bad weekend and eating loads of shit, because you might have to stand in front of me in your underwear the next day. You don't want to feel like shit. You want to show me that you've made progress. So you must hold yourself accountable to these type of things. Deciding, do you know what, I'm not going to do it because I don't feel good today. Biggest mistake you can make. And it's always the people who complain about not being motivated that do that kind of thing. You're far less likely to let somebody else down versus yourself. Now, this is proven. This is science. Every single one of you out there, if you really genuinely admit it to yourself, are you more likely to let yourself down, betray yourself, fuck yourself over, versus somebody else? Okay, so if you've arranged someone, right, I'm going to meet you at the gym at 6 o'clock, the chances of you bailing on them, unless you're a complete asshole, are pretty low. You're probably going to do it even if you don't want to, because you've held yourself accountable to them. However, if you say to yourself, I'm going to go to the gym at 6 o'clock after work, then you get a bit tired after work, there's a good chance you won't go. You're more than happy to fuck yourself over, but you're much less likely to fuck somebody else over. So remember that. That is a really, really powerful point of accountability. Again, whether it's a trainer, doesn't matter, whether it's a friend, whether it's a family member, be accountable to somebody until such time as you can really be accountable to yourself. The key is, and what I will say is, if you hire a coach, again, whether it's me, my team, any other trainer, do what is asked. The most common barrier I see for so many clients, and I've done this for 20 years, I've delivered thousands of transformations. You just need to do what you're told. If you don't do what you're told, you are not going to get the result that you want. It's really that simple. So be ready to do what is asked and don't make excuses. Simple as that. Work out with your friends or in group classes. One of the things we build this gym on locally here is as a massive group training culture, because it's an amazing way to get people who maybe don't necessarily feel comfortable in the gym to train hard, to train in amongst a group of people that they feel socially comfortable with and that they are excuse me, also accountable to, because they know they're meeting their friends at that class that evening. They know that their friends are on the same journey as them. They know that their friends are going to be trying to tick the same boxes, going through the same trials, the successes and tribulations as you are. So training in a group can really, really be beneficial. Just make sure you choose the group wisely, choose the gym wisely. And then share your goals publicly. Tell people. Make other people encourage you towards them. Let them know, I'm working towards this. If I'm not here in 6 weeks' time, give me some shit about it. Call me out on it. It's really, really, really important. And again, whether it's yourself or to a trainer, regular check-ins will keep you on track. This is why all of our plans require a check-in. Even if it's at the entry level, which is at Ignite, we advise all of the clients on Ignite to check in, because it allows them to see their own progress over time, and it allows me to see their progress over time. Then on our hybrid, our VIP level 1 and VIP level 2s, the hybrid you are required to check in, ideally every single week, but we review every month, or at the very least every month. On the VIP level 2, that is every single week. It is a compulsory thing. You don't get away with not doing it. Okay? So there's a reason for that. It allows us to see the progress. It allows us to make changes. It allows us to make sure you are on the right track. So you need to be doing that for yourself. It's useful. Then we're tracking the progress. We're not aiming for perfection constantly. Obviously, we get somewhere close to it, you're going to get the fastest, most beneficial results. But track your progress and celebrate the wins. Why do we track the progress? It reminds you how far you've come. One of the most common reasons that I ask clients when they're submitting their check-ins, I say to put your own collage together of your first day versus today. Because in a week, very often, you're waking up and you're seeing yourself when you get out of the shower every single day. You're in a position where you don't really see the changes. But when you look at last month versus this month, you'll see a massive change. So it's always important to monitor those, whether it's pictures or something else, is to understand where your starting point was and where you are now, because sometimes that can be a massive eye-opener. The amount of times we have clients who have a bit of a wobble, and it's completely normal, they have a bit of a wobble, oh, I don't feel like I'm making progress. And then we send them their side-by-side picture and say, really? You don't think you're making progress? And they see the side by side and they're like, holy shit, I don't know how I didn't see that in the mirror. But you don't see it in the mirror because it's happening so gradually. Your perception of yourself changes every single time you get in the or get naked or get in the bathroom, whatever. Whereas when you can see the long term from a month ago, 6 weeks ago, 8 weeks ago, 12 weeks ago versus today, you see huge changes. And guess what? The biggest motivator is results. Once you see results, you get hyper motivated. You have to have the discipline to see the results in the first place, but this is why it's important to track those days. And when you're feeling shit, those days, those little measures, they will be the things that give you the boost. Hopefully the battery doesn't run out while I'm doing this. So what do we track? Strength improvements in the gym, simplest thing, track your strength. Really, really important. Make sure you are tracking your lifts. Make sure you're always aiming to progress. Very, very important. Body composition, measurements and photos. Now that can be weight. If you're going to track weight, I would say maybe doing it weekly rather than daily, because the daily fluctuations as they go up and down can really fuck with some people's heads. They don't like it, which is absolutely normal. Don't worry about that. But it is a useful measure for us to take. Is it something that you should take if it messes with your head? No, not at all. Don't worry about it. Then, body composition. The photos that we take, that I would say out of all of the things you can possibly use, your photos are the most valuable measure of your progress and will give you the biggest mental boost when you're feeling weak, when you're feeling low. Okay, so for sure, aim to take your photos every single week. And then habits. Have you hit your 4 liters of water? Have you ticked all of these boxes throughout the day? Yes or no? Track your habits. Yes, I nailed it today. I got all of my meals in, I did all of my water, and I did all of my steps. 3 big wins for the day. Celebrate the wins. Okay, now finally, don't beat yourself up over the odd mistake. Take responsibility for them. I say this again. Take responsibility. You fucked up. Nobody else fucked up. You fucked up. And you're the one that needs to then fix it. Change it. Accept it. Strategize to make sure it doesn't happen again. Move on. Next up, general mindset changes, which are going to help you no end. Is shift your mindset when things get difficult. This is not a case of, I failed, I can't do this, this is too hard for me. It's right. How can I make my way through this, and how can I come out of it better? It sounds so over the top and, very Tony Robbins, very motivational speaker, but it's true. Stop looking at challenges, overthinking those challenges, and thinking that they are better and bigger than you. They are not. The simple case of the matter is, or simple fact of the matter is, that challenge has been put in your way to test you. Deliver. Overcome it. Show it and yourself that you are not the bitch in this situation. You are the one that's going to go in. You're going to over-deliver. You're going to smash through it. And I guarantee you, when you get on the other side of it, you're going to feel epic. You're going to feel great for having done it. But if you constantly allow those challenges to roll over you like a massive wave and crush you every time, you are going to feel like a failure internally because you are always being beaten. You're always allowing it to beat you. All it takes is a little bit of will, a little bit of discipline and an extra bit of drive to say, no, I'm having it this time. I'm going to win this time. You step that, celebrate that win. Well done. Guess what? The next time something comes up, you're going to think, do you know what? I did this before. I can do this again. Bam, do it again. Bam, do it again. Over time, you become someone who you associate yourself with winning. You associate yourself with ticking that box over and over again. I am not a failure, I am a winner. I encounter challenges, I overcome those challenges. That becomes part of your makeup, it becomes a part of who you are. I say this down there, replace I failed with what can I learn from this? Yeah, if you fucked up, you fucked up. Learn from it, don't fuck up in the same way again. Think about it like a level. playing Super Mario, whatever, on your Nintendo. Shows how long it has been since I played on a games console. Every time you get onto a different level, the same occurs in life, but certainly in what we do, but life as well. Imagine you hit a level, you get to somewhere where you die, finished. There's a pretty good chance you start that level again, you know where you died, you know why you died, and you get over it the second time. Okay, life is exactly the same. These trials and tribulations, these challenges are exactly the same. You're just playing levels over and over again. And if you're stupid enough to get killed by the same thing twice, you deserve it. Go in, fail, and learn. When you learn to overcome it, you'll get onto that level, bam, get past it. Yeah, you're going to get fucked up again somewhere further down the line, but it doesn't matter. Learn from that one. Move past it. Learn from that one. Next thing, you're on the second level. Same thing's going to keep happening throughout every level of that game we now call life. Same thing happens. It's okay to fail. Just learn from that failure. Try not to let it happen again. Seeing your hard workouts as growing stronger, get in there. You're tired? Yeah, but I want to be stronger, so I'm going to go and train. This set's hard, but I want to be stronger, so I'm going to get through it. Same thing with overcoming cravings. So many of you might get bored, and usually it's habitual. You get bored in the evening, and you think, do you know what? I'm gonna eat this. I'm gonna eat that. And then as soon as you've finished, you think, oh, for fuck's sake, why did I do that? I feel shit now. I could have easily not done that. Next time that happens, don't do it. Go and occupy yourself. Do something elsewhere, outside. Get away from the junk food. Throw it out your house. Throw it in the bin. Take it out of the packets and throw it in the bin. Because we've all been that weird one who puts a packeted something in the bin, then takes it out later. No? Just me? All right then. That's the fatty inside me, you see. But these things help. If you can overcome it, you will wake up the next day. I promise you, you'll wake up the next day buzzing, absolutely buzzing that you didn't cave in. You'll be like, fuck, that was actually a really nice feeling. For anyone who's gone out there and you've managed to go out on a night out with the boys or the girls or a mixture and you haven't drunk and you've got home and you've woken up the next day without a hangover on Saturday and you're like, this is epic. This is amazing. I love this. I'm all over this. I'm going to do this again. You get that feeling, that same endorphin rush occurs. Now, finally, again, I'm not trying to offend any of you here, but remember this. Tattoo it on your hand if you have to. Whether you succeed or fail, it's your fault. It is on you. If you do amazing things, you will take the credit for it. But it's also important that if you fuck up, you need to take the credit for it. Okay? It's your responsibility. The faster you can accept that, the better your results will be, the better your life will be. Now, how can we try to minimize the distractions and minimize the likelihood of us not being able to do all these things? Is build the environment that supports you. Okay, this is so important, and I think anyone as they get into their older age, past 30, 40, 50, whatever, is you understand more and more that the people around you are going to be the most important thing in your life. Okay, whether that's family, whether it's friends, your environment matters. It influences all of your decisions, even if you're not conscious of it. You may not know that something is influencing you as strongly as it is, but be aware, because it really does. And you sure as hell need to make sure that that influence is positive. Second thing, you're the average of the 5 people you spend your time with. So if you spend your time around 5 extremely talented, hardworking, I will take on any challenge kind of people, you will become a talented, hardworking, I will take on any challenge and win kind of person. That is your social environment. However, the same is true. If you surround yourself with a bunch of people who are constantly making excuses, constantly blaming everyone else for why they don't have what they want or they are not who they want to be, you are going to become the next one. So audit your space. Surround yourself with people who are winning, who want to win, who are willing to work, and who embrace challenges rather than trying to surround yourself with people who blame everybody else for why their life is not what they want it to be. Okay, how do you optimize the environment with regards to a transformation? Number 1, keep visible junk food out of the way or out of the house. If it's there, you're going to eat it. Don't fuck up. Train at a gym where you feel motivated and safe. Now, as you all know, I own a gym out here in Marbella, and I put a massive emphasis on the culture of this gym being somewhere that everybody feels okay to train, everyone feels supported. They come in, they train hard. We don't really like anyone who comes in here and mooches around, but I want them to feel happy, safe, and welcome here. If you don't feel happy, motivated, and safe, or whatever is required from a gym for you, change gyms. Put yourself in an environment where you're motivated and you want to go. Because half the battle, if not probably more than that, 80% of the battle of training is getting off the sofa in the first place. Once you're at the gym, it's really, really easy. Once you finish the workout, you're like, yeah, I'm buzzing from that. But getting yourself off the sofa when you're tired, that's hard. But if you're in the right gym, you're motivated, there's people there you want to see, you've got a really super fit receptionist, or one of the trainers you've got your eye on, whatever it happens to be, something about your gym, about your environment needs to be something that makes you want to be there, makes you want to go. Surround yourself with people who support your goals and who love your challenges. Again, sometimes this is just on the other side of a conversation. If you've got a husband or a wife who is saying, oh, you're boring, you're this, you're that, the other, okay, do you know what? This is important to me. This is really, really important to me because I'm unhappy. And in order to become more happy and more confident and to improve what I know will happen with our relationship, it will improve, I need your support. Okay? Stop giving me shit. Stop doing this. Stop doing that. Yeah, it's a hard conversation. But if you have it, you will find that everything changes. Next up, plan for life's curveballs. Having the goal that we set out in that first step is incredibly important, but you also must be flexible in your path to that goal. The goal is important, but be flexible in the path. Think about it. If you are driving somewhere, you know your destination, but if there is a road flooded, you will need to deviate and you will need to go around in order to get there. The same thing occurs with your goals. Your goals need to be fixed and strong and powerful, and they need to be significant enough that when you hit them, it's a big thing for you. But don't be afraid, and more than that, expect for things to go wrong along the way. Don't let it derail you. If you are trying to go to your family for Christmas dinner and you come up against some roadworks and there's a 3-mile detour, you don't turn around and think, oh, fuck it, I'm going back home, screw this is impossible, no, bollocks. You don't do that. You say, a 3-mile detour, okay, it's not the route I was planning to take, but I'll continue to take it because getting to the Christmas dinner is important to me. Okay, you have the detour. It's part of life. The same thing is going to happen on the way to your goal. Sometimes things are going to go wrong. Plan for them, expect them, don't let them derail you. And if you can, have a plan B. Life happens. You're always going to get ill. You're always going to have deadlines, vacations, children, school runs, illnesses in the family, whatever it happens to be. They're not a good enough excuse to stop when you're moving towards something you say you really want. You're never going to have a perfect time to do it, so stop complaining and get it done. Very, very simple. For all of you out there that are saying, oh yeah, no, I'll do this when, I'll do this when, I'll do this when. No, do it now. Put your big boy pants on, do it now. How to stay consistent. Always be prepared, and this is especially with your nutrition. Making sure that you are dialed in on your nutrition, you're prepped ahead of time, means you're not going to be caught short. You're not going to end up eating shit because it's all that's available to you. If you've got everything in line before you go somewhere, or you at least know what you have access to where you go, you're going to find it really, really, really easy to stick to your nutrition plan. And again, these wins, these small wins create much bigger wins. Always have a plan B as well. If you're on Ignite or Hybrid or VIP, we supply you workouts that you can do in hotels. We supply you workouts that you can do with body weight. It does not matter. Every single one of the plans, even at the entry level, the lowest level on Ignite with us, you get plans that are plan Bs to your main plan because we know that they need to be in place in order to keep you on track. We're trying to make your path to success as easy as possible. Again, focus on what you can do, not what you can't. Okay, I can't do this because I can't go to the gym today because there's 7 foot of snow outside and I live in Canada. Sweet. What can you do? I can train at home. All right, get your trainers on, off you go. Simple as that. Progress doesn't require perfection all of the time. It requires consistency and the will not to give up as soon as it becomes inconvenient, because that's what so many people do. You're waiting for motivation. You're waiting for all of these magic little things that will never appear. And the slightest inconvenience, you give up. That is not how you're going to succeed at this. That is not how you're going to succeed at life. So remember that. Inconvenience is nothing. It's there. It's merely a challenge. Overcome it. Finally, celebrate your wins. This is something that a lot of people don't do. I was even talking to one of my guys, Dan, today about celebrating wins and making sure that you do the things you want to do if you've earned it. You shouldn't be celebrating being mediocre. You shouldn't be celebrating being shit at things. But if you're really, really good at things and you've put the effort into them, celebrate that effort when you've earned it. Very, very important. Otherwise, what's the point, right? What is the point of trying and trying and trying and trying if there's no reward? As much as, the philosophical thing would be to say, fall in love with the process, not the end goal. Yeah, all right, but it doesn't really count, does it? I like the end goal. falling in love with making money is awesome. I'm also going to fall in love with a Lamborghini. Falling in love with training is awesome, but the whole thing that started me training was having the end goal. You know, all of these things require that light at the end of the tunnel, and when you get to that light, you need to enjoy it. You need to bask in it. It's really, really important. So, why is recognizing your success important? Because it reinforces the positive behaviors. It makes it worth it. What is the point in working for it if you don't celebrate it, as I've just said? Small wins and the endorphin rush, the reward system you get from frequently winning, turn you into a winner. In the same way that if you constantly give up when things get tough, you become a loser. It's simple as that. But if you start to create the pattern of, I am Elliot Upton, I am Dave Jones, I am Sarah Mindset, doesn't matter, whatever. I am a winner because I've won 10 things today. I'm going to become a winner tomorrow. And it grows and grows and grows and grows, and it compounds. You become someone who consistently wins rather than someone who consistently gives up. And then reward yourself for something meaningful. Don't, the weird trigger is that people say, oh, well, I've dieted hard for 5 days, so I'm going to have the weekend off and binge like a dickhead. And then wonder why they don't get results. Don't do it. Next up, share your success with your friends and family. Have people around you that say, fucking no, you've done amazing. This is brilliant. Well done. We're proud of you. We love you. We do it. We'll tell you from this side, but some of you don't listen. Some of you need it from closer to home. So share your successes when things happen. Appreciate how far you've come and make sure you set your next milestone. That goalpost will always move, but that's a good thing. The meaning of life is progress. You want that goalpost to keep moving and keep pushing forwards. So go for it. Give yourself the gratitude for the small wins, and it will lead to longer term satisfaction, and it will lead to you being a winner if you've got the discipline to repeat that act. So this is what we need out of you. We need discipline. We need constant, consistent, habitual changes to your routine right now. The routine that has left you maybe a little bit unhappy, maybe less confident, maybe out of shape, not in the shape you want to be. You're going to have to change something about the daily actions that you take in order for us to be able to get the most out of you. So, no excuses. Take personal responsibility for your results. We are going to be watching everything. We want a lot out of you. We want more out of you than you probably want out of yourself. So don't let us down. Don't let yourself down, because I promise, if you just dig your heels in and you remain resilient, strong, and you try to test your willpower and embrace these challenges over the next 8 weeks or more, you could genuinely change your life. And I know it's such a cliche thing to say, but genuinely, you could change your life. It's in your hands. Your success or your failure is entirely down to how well you take what I've just spoken to you about and how well you deliver it, okay? It's in your hands. We're going to make sure that all of your efforts, all of your motivation are directed in exactly the right place, and your success or failure lies with you. So, let's go get it.